Hey everyone, we're back with video 2 in this series for 2016 PSC Boys Navy. In this session, we're focused on 77 player roles and responsibilities for our group. And again, we play the 2-3-1 like you learned in the last session. So that's what most of this content will be built around. All right, let's jump in. We'll start out working from the back, as usual, with our goalkeeper, or the number 1 jersey. That's this guy back here, of course. The main role of the goalkeeper is obviously our last line of defense. It's an important phrasing that I like to use because that really emphasizes the fact that before an opponent gets to our goalkeeper, they've gotten through 2 center backs, 2 outside mids, a center mid, and a forward. So 6 other players have been beaten by the ball before an opponent can even get to our goalkeeper. And that's important for the team to recognize that when we give up a goal, it's not our goalkeeper making a mistake. It's actually the opponent getting through our entire team. And that's something that our whole group carries equally. And that's important for team responsibility and also for our goalkeeper keeping his confidence up and understanding that he's not letting the team down. He also helps organize the defense quite a bit. That's done oftentimes vocally. And he starts offensive players as our first line of offense. So we'll talk about that. Let's start with offense. He's going to distribute the ball to begin attacks. So a lot of times, attacks will start out after we win the ball from the other team taking a shot that doesn't go in, or it could be from a goal kick and we're building out of the back. And so a lot of times the way that will look is our goalkeeper has the ball, somewhere over here, let's say. Let's make this a little bigger. Goalkeeper's got the ball, let's say, over here. And our center backs are maybe here and here. And our goalkeeper is the guy who actually makes a decision as to where do we start building out of the back? Where does he pass this ball to first? It also could be when, maybe a center right back already has the ball, our forward's got the ball, and comes back to our goalkeeper under pressure, and our goalkeeper is able to swing us back out the other side away from pressure. Again, that's building out of the back, creating our attack. He'll use his feet to do that a whole lot. He might also use his hands to roll the ball out after making a save. That's one of the more common options, trying to keep any bounce out of it, make it an easy to receive ball for his teammates. And occasionally he might use his hands. If we get in a position where the other team's outside mid, maybe they're 7 or they're 11 on this side, gets sucked up a little too far in, and our goalkeeper makes a save all the way out here, he might quickly look to throw a ball in behind that defense, right, when they're out of position, and that allows our 11 or our 7 to get a quick counterattack and move forward to pressure and get into dangerous positions. Okay, so that is going to be playing offense from the goalkeeper position, and that quick start counterattack is not super common, but when it does pop up, it's a fine option to use. Most of the time, we'll be rolling the ball out or using our feet to distribute simple, easy passes and restart. Defending, of course, what everybody thinks of when they think of the goalkeeper. They're using their entire body. Of course, they're the only player who's able to use their hands, and it's within the area of our penalty area, this rectangular box in here. Only place they can use their hands, only player who can use their hands. And they're trying to stop shots, protect our goal, keep the ball out of our net. They're also doing a lot of communication to help organize the defensive shape. So they'll be communicating with these guys quite a lot, pulling guys back, making sure we're marked up, covering defenders that we're goal side, and that no defender is left unmarked. They're trying to help get that really good defensive shot shape so shots can be prevented before they're even taken. This way he doesn't even have to make a save. Okay, common traits, if we think about our goalkeeper, they might be somebody who's a little bit strong-willed. This doesn't always mean loud and boisterous. Sometimes it can. A goalkeeper might also be somebody who's very quietly confident. A lot of times they're a very brave player because it takes a lot of bravery to go stand between the sticks and the goal. Oftentimes this is actually the bravest guy on the field. Quick reflexes, because he's got to respond very quickly when that shot comes off. We talked about communication, so he needs to be good at that. Obviously strong hands, who's using those quite a bit to catch the ball and block shots from going into the goal. We talked about being comfortable with the ball at his feet. This is something every single player I'll talk about, being comfortable with the ball at their feet. And for our goalkeeper, that's providing that pressure release option when we're building out of the back so we can bring the ball back to our goalkeeper and try going out the other way. And also so you can have quality passes when he is building out and passing out of the back. Okay, let's move forward into our central backs, our 4 and our 5. So they're protecting the goal mostly by stopping attacks before a shot can be taken. If our goalkeeper is saving shots, our 4 and our 5 are primarily trying to stop those shots from actually happening. They're slowing down the progression of the other team's attack so we can get a numerical advantage with more players back behind the ball. And then they're also helping us transition from defense into the attack by building out of the back. Offensively, they're using those meaningful passes to build out of the back. So if they're over here on a goal kick, we don't want to get the ball to them and have them just kick the ball as far as they can down the field, because most likely the other team's going to end up with the ball and then we defend again. Instead, we'd rather have center backs who are really, really thoughtful about how they distribute the ball and, use really good high quality passes to find maybe an 11 out here, or maybe they find a center mid checking into this space, or maybe even our 9 comes over into this channel and they're able to play a really good quality ball into here, right? Let's look for those quality passes building out of the back to start the attack from our 4 and our 5. They also join the attacking play by supporting. So when the ball's up here in this area, right, and our 11 is up, our 10 is up, our 7 is up, our 4 and our 5 also need to come up into these spaces so that we can swing the ball back out of pressure, maybe switch the field across, and see if we can hit this space open on the opposite side. Occasionally, if we find the other team maybe pinched in too far outside and they're a little wide for some reason, there's nothing wrong with them making this run down the sideline if it's on for the 4 or the 5. That's going to be a little bit less common, but certainly it can happen from time to time. Defensively, marking attackers. We talked about denying shots, right? So not letting those attackers even get those shots off when they're in this area, right? This defensive third of the field, making sure they can't even shoot. So getting goal side in between the player and our goal so that they can't shoot the ball, so our goalkeeper doesn't have to make the save. Also, buying time. So delaying, slowing down the other team's attack. They don't need to dive in, certainly, to win the ball. Just keep the ball in front of them, slow them down, so that these guys can get back and pinch in to give us a numerical advantage behind the ball. And then finally, working with the goalkeeper on shape. So the goalkeeper might be telling them to move. Maybe it's pinch in, or maybe it's push out, or maybe it's step to the ball and apply pressure. That could be the case. They also might be calling back an outside mid. This will become very common as our guys get older and a little bit more confident with the voice. You'll hear center backs telling outside mids, hey, I need you to make a run back. I'm left alone back here. Your guy's constantly in open space back here. Come on back and help me cover him. Some common traits. They're very positionally aware. They're making sure guys don't sneak in to dangerous positions behind them, and they're always able to read the pass, or hopefully able to read the pass, get in front of them sometimes, or play it safe, get behind them if they can't get there and stop that player from turning. They're patient tacklers. They're not diving in. They have good vision to build out of the back and find the right passes to quickly get rid of the ball once they have it with a meaningful pass. And again, they're comfortable with the ball at their feet. That helps them get out of trouble and make sure that when they do win the ball after lots of hard defending, that they're not just kicking it as far down the field as they can and crossing their fingers. They're making very intentional passes to our players' feet. They're good with the ball at their feet. All right, our central midfielders. So the 6 or the 8 or the 10. Again, remember, the 6 is typically a bit more defensive, the 10 is a bit more offensive, and the 8 is right in the middle. Soccer community tends to just call it the 10 in the middle, even though technically it's more of an 8 the way that we play. We'll call it the 10. This guy is linking the offense and the defense, controlling the flow of the game, breaking up plays defensively in the center portion of the field, and he's supporting every single player who has the ball. Whenever a player has the ball, this 10 is checking to them to get into open spaces and be an available option for them to pass the ball to. When he does have it, he's looking to then move that ball into dangerous places. That could be away from pressure. So maybe if he gets it over here, he's looking to get the ball over to this side perhaps. Or if he gets the ball in here and he sees an attacking threat in here, maybe he's looking to play a ball into dangerous space in here for another one of his teammates to run onto. That's what a lot of what an offense looks like. So a lot of passing and moving to support those teammates, creating those opportunities for others, a lot of passing. The 10 might be the leading assister on the team. This player loves getting assists, takes a lot of pride in setting other players up. They can dribble themselves 1v1 when needed to, but they're probably looking to pass first and dribble to take space, commit defenders, and then pass in behind them. Occasionally they might beat somebody and certainly should be looking to take a shot when they're able to. They always want the ball. Remember, they're checking to support every player who has the ball, no matter who that player is. This 10 wants the ball in their foot. They're comfortable with it. They're going to be vocal and present so they can tell every teammate, hey, I'm here. I'm hoping. This is where I am. Turn to your left. Pressure on your back. Lay it off, whatever that might be. Defensively, they're going to be pressuring the opponents. So trying to slow down that transition play in the middle of the field, get them to maybe play a ball negative. If they can push the defense back, if they can push the opponent back, that's good for us because now we get more time to come back in and get a good advantageous defensive position. They might be intercepting passes. If they can pick off a pass, certainly this guy's in a good position here to cut off a lot of through passes that would go through these channels. This guy can pick a lot of those off and help provide really good defensive positioning for our team by just winning the ball before the other group gets it and then transitioning into attack. Keeps the other opponent's attackers in front of them. So this is going to mean never letting the play get in behind them, patiently keeping the ball in front, slowing it down so that these guys can come back and recover. Forcing difficult passes, not allowing any easy ball through. Don't allow the obvious pass. Try to block, these easy balls in here and make the defender play negative, or maybe try to make them play a really hard or really dangerous ball that we could pick off and steal. Some common traits in here. This guy's got high stamina, right? Because he's working to support every single player when they have the ball. So he might be running from here, over to here, over to here, back to here, over to here, over to here, support the goalkeeper all over the field, right? Generally in this central channel in here is where he's going to be focused in that box-to-box area, but supporting all the players there. Lots of strong passing. We've talked about that quite a bit. Really good vision to see those spaces and able to make really quick decisions when he has the ball so that he can get us into those open spaces before they fill up. A vocal communicator, always helping his teammates and never turning off mentally because he's involved in every play. All right, let's talk about our 7s and 11s. These guys are stretching the field when we have the ball. You see them getting out wide here. And when we don't have the ball, they're pinching in centrally and back to give us numerical advantage behind the ball. They're working up and down the field on the outside of the field constantly, which is going to mean a lot of endurance coming into play here. Offensively, they're immediately getting wide. So constantly you hear me talking with guys about getting wide as soon as we win the ball. It's a common thing for these guys to want to run at an angle as soon as we win the ball down the field away. Instead, I want them running at an angle wide and back into the space. So when our center backs have the ball, they have good angles to pass to. They're dominant in 1v1 situations. What that means is when they have these balls and these channels here, they're very strong defensively, able to shut down the other side's offensive or outside mids. And they're also very good with the ball themselves at their feet, able to get past a guy, maybe beat him in a 1v1, get into here and serve a ball in, or perhaps cut in and take a shot themselves. They're able to make these runs in and see those dangerous spaces in behind the defense so they can cross the ball in and or cut inside themselves to take that shot. Defensively, this is as important as the attack. They are tracking in and back. They have got to track these players back and in. They can't let their player that they're marking get behind them. If they do that, we're then numerically at a disadvantage, and this is when things get really, really dangerous. When they're defending, they're oftentimes forcing the other team outside and wide to the sideline or down into the inline and trying to keep them away from the dangerous areas in front of the goal. Okay, common traits. I talked about endurance because they are running a lot. They might be fast, getting into these open spaces with those runs back and behind. I talked about dribbling 1v1, probably strong with that. A lot of crossing coming in, so good accuracy there. And, tenacious defending and attacking. In these 1v1 scenarios, you see a lot of grit and heart where guys just battle it out. These guys need to be able to do that. Let's wrap up with our forward, the 9. This guy is often a natural goal scorer. He's stretching the field high and creating a lot of space for our other guys to play in, right? If he comes in, sits too far in here, the field compresses. So he's going to stretch us up high on the field. He's going to create that vertical space. He's going to combine with players around him if he can't go himself to create opportunities, whether it's for him or for others. And he's going to put anything in front of the goal away. This guy loves to score goals. Offensively, he scores a lot of goals by taking a lot of shots. He's not scared to do that. He's happy to take shots. He makes runs into dangerous spaces back in the defense. And he can check too in front of defenders when he sees that the dangerous run behind is not on. When he does that, he might combine with these triangles in here. Really bad triangle, a little bit better there, with our center mids and our outside mids. to have good combination plays and set others up. He's constantly moving horizontally on the field to find the open spaces here to get into, and he's not just standing in one place. Defensively, he's our first defender. So as the other team gets the ball, wins possession, and their goalkeeper has the ball maybe back in here, and they've got a center back out here and out here, this forward is immediately applying pressure, typically at an angle, to try to cut off one option and force the other team to have fewer options as they're building out of the back. They're trying to make it predictable and cutting off half the field by forcing the other team one way. Some common traits. Generally pretty quick. They're good finishers of the ball. Anything out here in this area, around the penalty area, certainly within the penalty area. This guy loves those balls. He'll strike from out here, absolutely. And inside here, he's going to tuck all kinds of stuff away in front of the goal. A lot of ugly goals from this player too, because he finds himself in here where he's able to get scrappy and fight to get a toe on the ball or a knee or an ear, I don't care, and put the ball in the back of the net. He's going to be confident because he's going to take a lot of risks. A lot of these shots out here, he's going to miss a lot of them, and he's going to brush it off and take the next one again. He's got good positional awareness where he understands not being caught off sides, right? Keeping at least two players behind him. Could be the goalkeeper and a defender. He's going to be aggressive, running balls down, running through defenders, certainly not scared of a challenge, and a creative risk taker himself. All right, that wraps us up here. Next session, we'll talk about the player roles in our build-out patterns. We'll talk through some actual patterns that we'll use building out of the back. This is one of the most important things and concepts that we have because it gives a really complete picture of how the team system works. We'll talk about positioning. Each position is going to have general areas to get to and specific roles to focus on as we're building out of the back. We'll talk about how this gives the full picture of how we play in a team system, what those patterns look like. So what are common passes and common runs available to our players to make as we work the ball from our goal to the opponent's goal. And then finally, defending from the front. So flipping the script, when we don't have the ball and the other team is building out of the back, how do we start applying pressure with our forward as our first defender? And how do we defend as a team unit applying pressure? Okay, that's all I've got for this video. Thanks for hanging with me. I hope this is interesting for the adults in our group, and I really hope our players are able to give this a watch as well. Hopefully it's familiar to all of our players and maybe some of our adults in the group as well. As always, if you have any questions, comments, want to talk more about what this means for the team, or maybe questions specific to your player, let me know, reach out, don't be shy, always happy to connect. Okay, thanks everyone.